Now to the meat. Dr. James Johnson is a professor at UNC Chapel Hill in the School of Business. His expertise is exactly why we are here today, and that is community and economic development and moving into this Atlanta market even more aggressively than we have. And he's going to talk to us about 6 disruptive trends that he sees in the statistics. And Dr. Johnson, thank you for coming, and let's go.
Thank you very much. Good morning. I'm delighted to be with you, and let me begin by thanking all of you for the work that you do on the behalf of our senior citizens. It's a very, very important undertaking. You know, the world, but especially our country, every region and every state in our great nation is in the midst of an unprecedented demographic transformation. The kinds of changes we find ourselves in the midst of, you're going to have to buckle your seatbelt to deal with them. And if you ignore them at your own peril. There are lots of things you can debate today. In fact, I'm sick of political debates, but there are lots of things you can debate. I want to suggest to you, though, that basic demography is not one of them. I assure you, if you're 5 years old today, 5 years from now, you're going to be 10 years old. Your birthday comes the same time every year. You just add 1 to what it was last year, and voila, you got it. In fact, every year when I go in for my annual review at my dean, I come out with a big raise. Because I walk in and tell her, I says, you know, last year when I met, I was 62 years old. You know what? I'm 63 now. And next year when we meet, I'm going to be 64. It's called forecasting. I'm the best in the business. The kinds of changes we find ourselves in the midst of, we call them disruptive demographic changes. They're going to dramatically transform all of our social, economic, and political institutions. They're going to transform the workplace. They're going to transform the workforce. They're going to transform consumer markets. Everything is in the midst of change. And I have, in the work that I've typically done on this topic, I talk about the 6 disruptive changes that undergird what we see on the landscape. I'm going to list them all. We don't have time to talk about all of them. I'm going to focus, given your focus today, primarily on one of them. But the first one is the South rises again. I think you've chosen the right region. I think you've chosen the right place, because if you look at the data very carefully, in every decade since 1970, the South has captured about half of net national population growth in this country. Prior to that time, it was an economically backwards region, had all kinds of racial and ethnic problems. Far more people were leaving the region than were coming here, capturing only about 30% of net national growth prior to 1970. We added 26 million people to our population during the first decade of the new millennium. 14.3 million of them settled in the South. And it's not the South, though. It's about 4 states in the South. It's about Texas. It's about Florida. It's about Georgia and North Carolina. Those 4 states captured about 80% of that national growth. We've added another 12.3 million people to our population since 2015, since 2010. 6.3 million of them settled in the South. Here, tag, you're it. This is the place. The South rises again.